On a problem like this one, the way to get started is to first get rid of the fraction, and that would be to multiply both sides by that denominator so that they'll cancel. So on the left side, I get 21, and on the right side, 5x minus 19. Now, the problem is like so many others we have seen in the past. I add 19 to both sides. Divide by 5. And I get x equals 8. And that's it for that one. On this one, I could start off the same way, multiplying both sides by the denominator 5, and that would be just fine. Or I could subtract 7.1 from both sides so that on the right side of the equation, I get w divided by 5. And on the left side, I get negative 12.5. Now, I will multiply both sides by the denominator so that I get w on the right, all isolated, just the way I want it. And on the left, I get negative 62 and a half. And that's it. Like I said, I could have started by multiplying everything by 5, all three terms, and then proceeding from there, but I felt like this might be just a little easier. On this one, we have multiple fractions. So, as we've seen in the past, let's get rid of the fractions, or more specifically, let's get rid of the denominators. To do that, we need to determine the least common denominator, and that would be the smallest number that each of our denominators divides into. Now, the smallest thing they divide into is 12. And so if I multiply both sides of the equation by 12, it ends up looking like this. 12 times v over 4 plus 12 times v over 6 equals 5/4 times 12. Now we get to have some fun and cancel stuff. Because we multiplied both sides by the least common denominator, all denominators should cancel away now. 4 divides into 4 once and into 12 and into 12 3 times. 6 divides into 6 once and into 12 twice, and I get that over there. So this simplifies to 3v plus 2v equals 5 times 3, or 15. From here, it's considerably easier than it was originally. 3v plus 2v is 5v. And then I divide both sides by 5, and the answer is 3. On this one, I would do it exactly the way I did on the last one. I notice that there are fractions, and so I want to get rid of them. To do that, I must multiply both sides of the equation by the least common denominator. Therefore, I must determine what is the least common denominator. So that would be the number that is the smallest number that our denominators of 2 and 5 divide into. Smallest thing they divide into is 10. So I'll multiply both sides by 10. And this yields 10 times 3 halves u minus 10 times 7 equals 10 times negative 3/5 u plus 10 times 1/5. Just like on the last problem, at this point, all the denominators should cancel. The 2's cancel there. The 5's cancel there. And the 5's cancel there. So now I can write 5 times 3u is 15u. 10 times 7 is 70. 2 times negative 3 times u is negative 6u. And 2 times 1 is 2. Obviously, the problem is now more simplified than it was. So at this point, let's add 6u to both sides to get the u's together so that there is only one u in the problem. This gives 21u minus 70 equals 2. Now I add 70 to both sides, and I get 21u equals 72. I divide both sides by 21 and get u equals 72/21, but I can divide 3 into the numerator and the denominator, or in other words, I can cancel a 3. 3 goes in 7 times, and 3 goes in 24 times. So that my simplified answer is 24/7. Once again, there are fractions in an equation, and so I want to get rid of them. So I first determine the least common denominator. The smallest number that 2 and 8 divide into is 8. So I multiply both sides of the equation by the least common denominator. And I get this. At this point, the 2's cancel, leaving behind a 4, and these 8's both cancel. So the equation simplifies to 4 times 4y minus 9 equals 40 minus y minus 9. Notice the parentheses I put in to the equation on both sides. They both need to be there, otherwise I'm going to get it wrong. Next, let's get rid of those parentheses. Distribute them away. And I get this. We can now combine like terms on the right side of the equation so that the equation becomes 16y minus 36 equals 49 minus y. Let's get the y's all together by adding y to both sides. And then we'll move the 36 . And then we'll divide by 17. And y is 5. And that is it, and that is how it is done.